so let's call the meeting to order at 6:06. We are still waiting for Robin. She should be coming in at any moment. Let us jump into, are there any...
What meeting is this for the recording?
The meeting of 5/20/24.
What committee?
In the High Street Park Committee in the Select Board meeting room. Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
We should say who's here.
Yeah, it's a good point. No, you're right. Thanks for keeping me honest.
Get used to the new rules.
No, it's the truth. This is the way to do it.
Execution of the rules.
Yes.
Let's start
Mary Ann
with you.
Damasio is here.
Kathy Gernhardt, President.
Don Howard.
Joe Weeks.
Don Ellis.
Phil Clements.
Perfect, and we're waiting on Robin. She'll be here soon. All right, first on the agenda is review and approve minutes. Are these the minutes that we have? What is in front of us?
That is something I put together
else.
from way back last year, but
Okay.
it's not minutes.
Okay. Do we have any minutes to?
No, I should have brought them.
Totally fine. I just want to make sure all my T's are crossed, so we'll table that and we'll do all the minutes collectively at the next meeting, if that works for you.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I would humbly submit, if the last meeting was one where we had the presentation by the potential
Yes.
providers of park design services, I very much look forward to those minutes, because as I mentioned informally, I think it was a very, very productive meeting.
Yeah.
Very motivating meeting, and so we look forward to those minutes, et cetera.
Yeah, I'd second that. All right, so we'll table the minutes for the next meeting, and we'll do all of those, so we can get those recorded. Old business, let's jump into updates from committee members on progress with their individual responsibilities.
Mr. Chair, you may recall, way back last year, we started to seriously discuss what it would cost to do an initial clearing of the playground area.
Mm-hmm.
And I had done a little bit of legwork with one potential vendor, and what I've distributed to everyone here tonight is, even though it was shockingly 10 months ago, it's a vendor who we know does good work, and if you have two other vendors who would want to submit quotes, it's a potential way to start making visible progress.
Great.
And you'll see the numbers before you, and it was a mowing and a thinning and a selective removal, which is the right way, I think, to approach all that crazy vegetation that's there.
Mm-hmm.
It will be easy to overdo it or to underdo it. And this way, we can step by step make sure we do things that will enhance the property and not accidentally take down trees or things that we don't want, that
Okay.
we do want rather. So just for reference and maybe as future progress, I put this estimate in your hands. It may be, since it's 10 months old, as we seek additional bids, we would want to refresh this one, because who knows, the vendor might have changed his numbers a little bit. But there it is.
This is great. This is fantastic.
And you'll see the cover note, which I put in, it was my draft anyway, perhaps Lisa or you guys would do it differently, of what we were asking them to bid on. The three steps, the mowing, the thinning, and selective removal.
Okay.
Somebody might be out there.
I do see.
Yeah, I think you're right, I'll get it.
I do see that stump removal is not on this, so we'd have to come back and obviously circle back to that.
Sure.
Okay. But this is great, because I want to see if, let's say, I don't know if this company does the stump removal piece, because I know there's a minimum threshold for some of these. And if we're going to go with the same person with a fourth step within the scope, does that meet a certain
It would.
financial threshold?
Sure, that's actually a pretty logical fourth step.
Yeah.
Hi, Robin.
Hi.
Hello.
Take a
How you
seat
doing?
there.
Oh, okay. Is this our paper?
As you're walking by,
Looks like we
we're
need another
recording.
one.
You mind just let the recording know you're here?
Oh, God.
It's new news?
Oh, Robin Spada here for meeting.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so that's fantastic, and then maybe we can try and get some quotes on the stump removal part, and then we'll have a pretty decent holistic scope of the work.
A question, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
I noticed there was some trees taken down. Who took those down up here, up at the?
No idea.
The large and elderly beech tree,
Right.
which is not far in from the street, it was basically in front of the old nurse's quarters and the food pantry, which was not in great shape anymore. It appears to have been taken down by, I would say, tree/highway department, and I saw an explanation on social media that because of disease and everything else, it was done. And my feeling is that that sort of clears the decks for, as much as I miss it because it was a great old tree, but not if it's gonna fall down on somebody. It sort of clears the decks for thinking about what the future landscaping will be.
Yeah.
Hopefully, whatever is done along that entrance driveway there, it will sort of set the tree design for the next 100 years.
Just to interject, they also took one in front of the food pantry too. They took a tree down there also.
So,
Was that a beach
So they
also?
probably,
oh, that's
It was
right,
maple. It has that big one last year.
the silver maple that was in front of the entrance to the food pantry or the beekeeper's door, whichever one they use. I've been looking at that over the time, and silver maples are not they're nice trees and all, but they are not necessarily the greatest for landscaping because they tend to shed branches and things. It might be safer to do some, but for whatever reason, you're right, that did go down up beyond our input.
yeah, as I remember, both of those trees probably should have been taken down.
Right, it's,
Should
we
be.
miss big old trees, but sometimes it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Okay. Any other updates from anybody regarding individual projects that we need to discuss? I'm sure you have some. You always have something.
Well, I drafted well, I'll back up. I met with the food pantry because they were upset, and the select chair, I guess, what's her name?
Laura Kemet,
Pardon?
the chair of the select board, Laura Kemet?
Yeah, Laura Kemet was adamant about not having the bathroom next to the building or part of the building or what we were planning on doing. And so I met with, I called them up. No, I was over there one day. They were there. I knocked on the door and I went in and talked to them. And two of the representatives, I asked them we can go, what's a good day we can meet together and go over everything to iron out any problems that they might have had with the parking or anything else, the stuff that we had done before. And so they said, good. They were wanted to meet on a Sunday morning at 9:30.
I tried, but couldn't make it.
No, you got kids and young kids and stuff. It's difficult, but I called Joe and said, can we meet? And he couldn't make it, so I met with her, went over it, and we won't put the building, the bathrooms up against the building at all. We'll put it down by the curve coming in, which is the main road coming in, and then there's a rotary, and over there in that direction, which is what the town planner recommended. It doesn't matter to me, but we do need to be able to connect it into the sewage system that's there now. So we just can't put it, somewhere down in the woods somewhere. So it has to be in an area. So I went walked with them, and they liked the parking. They had no problems with the parking, and no problems with it coming in and out, and no problems with putting the bathroom down on that corner, which is an area so that they can't see anybody coming in and out, because that's what their main concern was, privacy. So I made them sign the sheet, that they had, what they were approving, so that, the right hand and the left hand knows what's going on. So, and then I met with Laura Kemet, and went over it with her. She had no problem. She had met with them. She had a problem in the beginning because she didn't think those were the people that should have been interviewing with to the layout. But she took it upon herself to talk about it, because Joe and I think it was talk to Laurie about what we were doing and so on. And then she was going to check to make sure. And I said, fine. So she made sure. And then when we talked to her at the town meeting, I think it was, she didn't have any problem with it.
Laura?
Laura did not.
Yeah, I think it was last Tuesday. last Tuesday, we were like out in the hall, kind of in
Right,
passing.
Tuesday meeting, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just kind of in passing. And she seemed to take a look over it, and she seemed to feel positive about it. I was just kind of in passing because I was leaving, and I caught the tail end of the conversation. It sounds to me like the folks at the food pantry are okay with the adjustment. It sounds like the chair of the select board is okay with the arrangement. It hasn't been brought to the actual formal select board yet, but again, just in passing. So I think it's safe to say that bring it back here for all of us to just give it the stamp of approval. This is a good example, I think, of us letting folks know that even though the plans have been submitted and hopefully approved by the planning board, that we can still make adjustments as we need to, because we want to adhere and listen to the abutters and other departments that have some type of wish list or some type of advocacy around making some moves. The placement, if I'm not mistaken, is where we've been talking about it this entire time. So it's not really new news, it's just
No.
the completion of a conversation. Does that make sense to everybody? And I definitely want to commend you for bringing it here, but also I want to make sure that people don't feel like conversations are happening behind the scenes that you're all not aware of. So is everybody okay with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
have one question, this is Mary Ann.
Yep.
So do they have to approve it as a board, or the food pantry board, or were you talking to the chair, like, I'm just curious if there's another step that we need to go through, or
Well,
there's
it's
two
just
people
for
that-
us to know what's going on, and then somebody can talk to the selectmen, but the select chair,
No, the pantry board,
Yeah.
no, we don't have to talk to them at all now.
so the people that you
They're
talked
happy
to,
with
the head of it?
Yeah,
Christine
They have the
Cameron?
authority to
That's
speak.
why I had them sign it, because
Okay,
that they liked it and it was all right with them.
I just wanted to make sure it was the right
And
people.
if there was gonna be a problem, come back to us.
May I have the names of those who signed it, please?
Pardon?
Who signed it?
Who's got good eyesight?
Not
Is
me.
it Christine Cameron?
Right up at the top. I don't know.
Susan.
One is Susan something and the other one is Chris.
Chris Cameron?
Yeah.
Yes.
Chris Kramer is the one I can make out. Susan. Can't make it out.
Laura said it was fine.
Yeah, Chris
Yeah.
is the,
So.
You can look at it if you want,
You're
there's not
bringing
much to
this
see.
this is Kathy Bernhardt speaking. You're bringing this to our attention to approve what specifically?
Just to make sure that everyone's okay with the site change of where the bathroom's no longer gonna be up against the wall like this, like it initially had shown, and it's gonna be moved away to where we've been talking about it, basically off to the side, detached from the main building.
So are we approving a specific placement or just the fact that it's no longer attached to the building?
No longer, we're basically approving the site plan as presented here.
Mr. Chair, it seems like we're simply approving the concept
Bingo.
of the relocation of the restroom facility.
Yep, as
So those
presented
are
on the
two-
plan.
Yeah, those are two separate things.
And-
So how the placement change, I'm assuming, has not been presented before, like the civil engineer or
Nope.
any other kind of designer.
Nope.
So we're conceptually saying, this is, well, you don't want it up against the building anymore, we want it somewhere over here.
They just want it away from the building.
Yeah.
Essentially,
I
we're
just wanna
looking for a motion to accept a plan change as presented on the draft plan.
I just
It
want
won't
to,
cost us any more money.
Right.
I just want to add one other thing. Their biggest fear was somebody would go in and start stealing their food. Because if something had happened, or somebody would go in to shut off the water, or if there was a surge backup being attached to the building, they didn't want to be paying for the water for the facilities or the electricity. They wanted it all separated and out of there. So it was a combination of a lot of things, and this has been going on for quite a while, that they were
Yeah.
upset.
Yeah.
So, talking to the town planner looked at it and thought the best place would be down below. And we'll all look at it anyway before it goes forward to, bricks being laid, so to speak. The reason it's gotta be somewhere near there's an underground sewer pipe that they need to connect to, as part of the systems. And so you're limited as to where you can put this. situation.
the
Because it won't,
connection to the sewer.
the soils up there are not good enough to put a leaching field in up around the buildings.
Mr. Chair, it seems to me this is a very good example, it might not be the only thing too, of some relatively minor changes that collectively we would submit through our engineering consultants for the planning board's consideration.
Exactly.
So this may not be the last time there'll be a tweak, so to
Right.
speak, but it's a necessary one, and so I'm good with this.
So what I'm seeing here is only a bathroom crossed out. I don't see a proposed relocation.
It doesn't show on that plan. I'm sorry, I forgot to bring the big, larger plan, and I could show it to you. I don't have anything.
So to
The next
me,
meeting, I could do it.
we
but-
would need to we either need to vote on removing this from the plan, and then later when we have an actual location we can see, then vote on the actual location.
Right.
You can do that.
Well, I'm gonna
Because to
have to
me,
go
it's
back
like
and
this
get
isn't
something
enough
from,
information.
Is it
somebody
gonna,
to draw up
is
the
it gonna,
plan
excuse
and
me,
so on, to be actually placed it.
I mean,
See,
But the thing
this,
they signed
this,
doesn't have.
it's over in here.
so you're just talking about on the same plot of land, the same
Yes,
island of grass, basically the field, you're just talking
Right.
about the corner.
right.
Yeah, but it's literally
That's right.
going to be where we talked about, remember we did that walk, and then Tony was talking about this is where it would make sense for it to go? That's where it's gonna go.
So do we realize that people are going to have to cross the road to go to the bathroom?
There's
Is it-
sidewalks.
Yeah,
Is
there would
there
be
a
sidewalks
way-
in the plan.
Yeah, but still, is there an option where it's possible to have it located across on the other side of the road? So it's safer?
No,
I don't think so, because the pipes don't go that far. I think the location is exactly where the drain is in relation to how the map has already been drawn up.
So
But we
if
can have Tony here if
That would be
yeah.
really good to double check, because that one issue of a child crossing the road versus just go, like having movement
Yeah.
isolated safety wise to be on the same side of the road makes a lot of sense.
Same side as the playground.
Same
Yeah.
side as the playground,
And in
and then
fact,
as
most of
the
it.
future, and as same side as the future
Performance.
performance space.
Yep.
That makes a lot of sense.
Mhm.
And if we have from what I understand, we do have some sort of piping as well as a leach field all the way across the property.
Yeah,
So-
the pipe goes a long way, that's correct.
no, the pipe is liquids only at that point.
Right.
You have the facility has solids, and you have to get the solids over to the holding tank, which is over at the end of where the playground's going.
Perhaps there could be a holding tank for this new facility before it connects to the old sewer pipe. But that's for engineers to consult with us on, I think.
Right.
But
that's,
So for,
John first, sorry, he's been waiting.
no, that pit you're talking about behind the, garden, that's a, manhole, because that's where I picked up the sewage from the house next to it.
Right.
The house would have had a septic tank before the liquid goes into there. Or solids, is that taking the solids too?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's my question.
Yeah.
I think that you could run a pipe from that manhole, because it's quite deep.
Right.
And if you had a transit, you could check it from that point there, back over to where the new proposed bathroom will be going. And I think a pipe could be put in directly from the new bathroom to that manhole.
Yeah.
You know what I
think it's a
mean?
Great idea, yeah.
But that can be done with a transit at a later date. But I think there's enough depth there so that you can do it.
Okay, great. All
I
right.
was just saying, so if there's a motion, is it that we, what do you say, we approve, we
I think,
recommend?
I think at this point, why don't I save, I'll reach out to Tony, so that way everybody feels comfortable having all the information, and I'll just have Tony come, and we'll talk about the whole thing as one big piece.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, my sense is right now, there's a consensus, not necessarily a motion, second, and vote, but a consensus to accommodate the requests of the food pantry as well as make it fit with the engineering system.
That's a good way of
Yeah,
saying it.
I think-
We can vote
yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
That's,
If you wanna take a symbolic, census vote, that's totally
I'll make that a
fine.
motion.
Yeah, we got a motion,
Second,
second,
All right, I need to have the, I need to be able to type all that out.
yeah,
Can you
Okay,
describe what it is again?
The motion is to, that the committee agrees to accommodate the concern and request of the food pantry in terms of the new proposed location for the restroom.
do we want to say that it's away from,
Further away from the food pantry building.
without specifying where it is?
Yeah, without drawing, we don't know. That's my motion.
that's the one you're seconding, right?
yes.
Okay.
So is this okay? I know it's not exactly verbatim. A committee agrees to accommodate the proposed, relocation of the restroom to be further away from the food pantry building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
per food pantry request.
Yes, sir?
In other words, the restrooms will be on the northern side of the road coming in,
Ideally, yes.
Yes.
But, I think we're looking.
but away from the food pantry.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah,
Yeah. That's where I've got it pictured in my mind.
You want Phil?
Bill?
And,
and then Don Ellis seconded.
and,
Any other further discussion on this? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Are we
Opposed?
supposed to say who we are?
I think if it's unanimous, I think we'll be all set. And then, anybody opposed? And any abstentions? All right, we got a unanimous vote. All righty. Are there any other individual updates from anybody with their projects that would like to update us?
I don't know if this is an update or whether it'll become later under new business. I'm curious as to what the proper sense is of the progress we made with outside suggestions for ideas for design and what steps we'll be taking next towards that goal. Again, to try to hang on to the momentum we started to feel that last time.
Yep, no, I think it's a great question.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Well, it's gonna pop up in, probably in the discussion of playground equipment as well as the grant updates. So, let's jump into new business, for the sake of that, because it might answer some questions, even though it's in a very vague way. So I have to meet with, Tony and Lisa to get the scope of work and the budget, for a proposed grant that they had submitted for about 2 weeks ago. There was a scope of work that was required to try to get us, some grant funding. Don't quote me on it, but I think it's over $100,000 of grant funds, as well as some leftover allocated funds that were already sitting, in an account that we have. Once I get my hands on that scope of work and those budgets, I'll be able to hopefully present that. And it's gonna be something I'm gonna reach out to Tony and see if he can kind of walk us through what he and Lisa came up with. They had like 2 weeks to put something together, so we're grateful for them doing that, because it wasn't just us, it was also a couple of other projects, I believe, at that time, and there was overlapped with town meetings, so they were really busy. But I plan to have Tony come to kind of walk us through what that looks like, and/or Lisa, if she's available to do that. But just want to let you know that a grant was submitted, to keep the momentum going, to your point.
Great.
Awesome.
Discuss playground equipment. Is there anything on there that you guys want to discuss? Any new updates since the last time?
No, I think we're waiting for, I think last time we met, there was, you or someone else was talking about confirming whether we could choose someone to design, how
Yep.
we can move forward,
Yep,
right?
I think so, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So I probably dropped the ball on that.
that-
I'll do that tomorrow.
So that, I think we need to decide on who we're going with.
Yep.
So then they can, because so far, what kind of equipment we're getting depends on the planner.
Yeah. Perfect, yeah, okay. So I will add that to the list of things that I have to talk to Tony about, and or Lisa. Figure out tomorrow which one's the better one to go to. I'll throw that on their list.
Mr. Chair, where in the, in this newly regained momentum, do you think the vegetation clearing effort will take? Where does that fit in? What action shall we take next on that?
So, within the scope,
I think
the problem that I have is that.
if I might say, I think I recall the town administrator saying that the earmark funds
Yeah.
made available and still on the table could be, this could be a completely legitimate use of those, in addition to whatever design things you were just speaking of.
She 100% did say that. I just don't know what they put in the scope of work. So I
Okay.
don't know if that was built into the grant or not.
Well, perhaps when you speak with them next, you could bring with you the material, the information we got this one time.
Yep.
About 10 months ago.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's right on that point.
Absolutely. And I think we haven't met, Lisa's she's been so busy, obviously, but I think it's about time we reach out to her again, see if she can help us kind of walk us through what she's been doing too, because I know that this has been higher on her priority list. She's obviously just been prioritizing 1,000 things at once. So I'll invite her for some more detailed ideas of where to go from.
And to close on that, I
Lisa
think
Green?
I think she very appropriately said a few months ago, this year, it would be important to start having something visible take place on the property.
Yep.
And here.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody here, I mean, just the fact that everybody's here right now, and is definitely enthusiastic shows that we're ready to make some moves on these things. So I think we have a newfound, energy to make sure that this stuff happens. So, I'm glad that we have a grant in. I'm glad we have a scope of work and a budget. I'm glad we have earmarked funds that we can make moves on. I'm glad that this board, as well as the select board, wrote the letter and, through Lisa's office, and submitted that to the town planner to get that to the planning board to hopefully move that through. All of this stuff is moving us in the right direction. So, now we have to gear up to start, executing some of the stuff that we have in that budget once we get that grant. I think that's the next step.
Yeah. Just as an FYI, even though we probably all know it, small but I think important, with all the proper town entities being involved, vehicle control structures have been put in place so that we no longer have people invading the park area and the trail area with motor vehicles to either dump things illegally or just do donuts on the trail.
Great point.
And that's a small but important step, and we're all winners because of that.
Yeah, I hit the nail on the head.
May I
course.
ask you a question, Phil? Walking down on the Bonnie Hill path, and there's, besides like a lot of puddling from mud and stuff, which I've noticed people put sticks across, but I just wanted to bring that up, that there is some of that. But also that path going from the woods to the main field there, and the Bonnie Hill, whatever that field is called there, on the last meadows.
Yes.
There's a lot of poison ivy,
Yes.
making it kind of treacherous for those of us who are.
Yeah. Are you speaking of the far northern section of the trail? That's well
eastern.
past the hospital, but up north?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I can tell you about that. Since that's under conservation management, we have a few dollars left in the original trail budget from the CPA, and we're going to, as far as the muddy section there, we're going to be putting in a small plastic culvert to enable both people and, in the future, if necessary, vehicles like for mowing the field to cross there. And as far as poison ivy control, we'll have to see what either our commission or volunteers can do on a very low budget, because we don't have any more. We're spending already all of our fiscal '24 money. We don't have to hire a contractor. But I think that over-the-counter consumer control materials could be used on the edge of the trail.
Yeah.
And not only that, but frankly, warning signs that we would supplement the signage we have now. So if people don't know what poison ivy looks like, welcome to the country.
Yeah, it's very perfect.
Yeah, but I know there's an enormous patch on the right-hand side of that first meadow, the first of the northern meadows.
The western side of the meadow there.
Poison ivy is thriving these days.
Yeah.
So unless somebody has a goat, they want to walk down there twice a week.
I wish.
I wish
Yeah.
too. Just talk.
Dawn, you should
Yeah,
go.
I thought about taking my lawnmower down there, but
No, don't get it in
Not a
the
good
lawnmower.
idea. It won't control it. It will simply
yeah.
make your
Yeah.
lot more dangerous.
yeah, and the path is like this wide, so and the ticks are very, very prevalent along there too.
Oh,
So I'm just
again.
providing an update and just seeing if there was a plan in place. For
Poison
that.
ivy and ticks, some of the signs we put up there in the past specifically address that, and they will always be with us no matter what we do.
Yeah.
And it's partly do what we can along the thread of the trail,
Yeah.
and partly will be hikers beware and act accordingly. It's not a risk-free thing to do a walk on the trail. Probably safer still than walking on the Freedom Trail in Boston.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we aren't free of hazards. You're right.
Yeah. Okay.
I can also reach out to the highway department, see if they can help out in any way, just to see. what they have to-
I wondered too if like the path, if we were planning on widening that path in the field too, because I think it's clearly more, it's safer to be on the main trail of the park with it, the way it's built.
Yeah.
But the path through the field is very thin and it gets overgrown very easily. So you have like kind of a doubling of the risk, at least of poison ivy and ticks there.
Yeah, I think
This
you're
is
right.
an area where, even though it's outside the scope of the park, we want to accommodate people no matter which part of the property they're on.
Yep.
Yeah.
But we'll keep an eye on it, that's for
Yeah,
sure.
I figured the resources for it were very low, but I just wondered what the plan was. Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
The last thing that I have to bring up in terms of action items, I guess, is we created the Recreation Commission at the town meeting. It was the Recreation Committee, now it's the Recreation Commission. And the Board of Selectmen had approved basically the mission and the vision of the Recreation Commission. And the idea was that some of the grants, like the parks grants, required an authority to help with the maintenance of High Street Park once it's up and running. 'Cause this-
To manage it.
Exactly. And the idea is that obviously our committee is finite. Once we get the park and everything done, that we would, in all likelihood, dissolve. So I think it's important to note that I only think we have like one person, maybe two, on the Recreation Commission. So I do think it would be in our best interest that we, start letting people know and try to get some interest in joining the Recreation Commission so we can kind of partner with them in anticipation that hopefully sooner than later, we'll be able to incorporate some of their maintenance and leadership and what they need. Things that are coming to my mind, for example, would be even the immediate. I think de facto we're in charge or have become in charge of things like security and maintenance of the grounds, when in reality it's really outside the scope of what this committee is supposed to do, because we're supposed to build it and then the Recreation Commission is supposed to maintain it. So I do think that a lot of these questions that we're pondering here and trying to solve actually are outside the scope of the committee. But we have a commission now, and there's nothing wrong with that. I like the idea of having an empowered commission to kind of take on some of this stuff now. There's no reason not to.
And the commission will be for more than just High Street Park, it'll be for.
Oh, absolutely.
The town for the activities. And-
Yes. Yeah.
And that's separate, so now Camp Kawani is separated out?
Yes.
As a separate committee, okay.
Yep. Absolutely.
So you're saying we need to be aware of the scope of the committee and start presenting these sorts of questions to those two people?
Yeah, I think we kind of have to do that at this point. And I've become a little reluctant in doing that, because we needed town meeting to really create the title of the Recreation Commission, but it's only one or two people. So I don't know if you actually technically have a quorum or if it's like one person. I haven't really researched what that looks like. But if there's nothing stopping anybody here from Lord knows all of us are on 15 committees. That's why Mondays are always hard to meet anyways. So if you have an interest, by all means, do that. But if you know anybody that would be a great partner for the commission, it would help us out because it would actually solve a lot of the landscape problems, the maintenance problems, We could even advocate that this committee needs to give the Recreation Commission a budget so they can actually do a lot of these things, and take care of some of those decisions around security like I was talking about.
Mr. Chair, it seems like we are in a position, this is my grasping of what you're saying, that we have identified and will continue to identify a pretty good sized handful of issues that will require their time and attention,
Yeah.
and management attention, and some sort of budget. And happy to do that. I think we are, if we have some sort of bullet list of those issues and thoughts and suggestions for approaches to how to manage it, and then say, thank you for existing, and here you go.
That's right.
We're done.
And that actually frees up more time for us to focus on the building and creation, and not necessarily the maintenance, which is also important, but I do think that we created that for this purpose. And we want to be able to show the folks that they actually do have a really important mission for the town, to be able to kind of manage that.
What other, this committee that they have having, recreational committee,
Yep.
what does that include as a whole for the town? Do you know, does it include baseball fields, things like that?
I don't think so. Parks and Fields would do the baseball fields and the
Okay.
maintenance of that. The Recreation Commission was, I think,
McQuon?
yeah, you gotta, it's tough because I wrote it and it was so long ago, I forget what I wrote. But essentially, it was the idea of having them be in charge of things like recreational opportunities throughout the town, outside of what the Camp Kawani Commission is doing, and outside of what Parks and Fields is doing. So it's essentially managing, the events that are happening within the community outside those jurisdictions, plus overlapped with the maintenance for lack of a better word, the governance of the High Street Park stuff.
It sounds, Mr. Chairman, like it would be
It is, it's a
properties
lot.
that are not already managed by another town entity.
Yeah.
And programs, recreational programs that would be occurring in various places.
Exactly. Yep. And it checks off a lot of the boxes for future, opportunities that we are anticipating we're going to need a Recreation Commission for, or a maintenance authority for.
Yeah, there may be not only actions and programs, but even additional spaces here and there that don't exist yet, but they would be part of envisioning
Absolutely.
what to do and how to do it.
Yep. So does that, I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense to everybody? Hope it does.
So
We're really making some moves in progress. I don't know,
it's the playground.
yep.
I just have a question, like, it doesn't mean that committee will do it, but they'll be like, tell highway that something needs to be done, or the town select board, like, that's kind of
Yeah.
uncertain? How-
No, I think in a very similar way, like with Kathy bringing up, field maintenance and what does that look like? They would be the ones in charge of making sure that the fields are where they need to be, the trail is the way it's supposed to be. Just like with anything else, that it's routinely maintained. Maybe complaints or suggestions around, again, like things like security and whatnot are directed towards them, so that they can handle it. Very similar to what you would do with some of these other committees that are out there.
So can we initially request that when it's up and running, that someone comes to our meetings at least occasionally to hear what we're doing to?
Yeah. We could even make the argument that we could appoint a liaison from here to go there, or have somebody from there to come here. There's no, yeah. I just wanted to make folks aware of it, and who knows, somebody here might also want to be on the Recreation Commission because they want to be able to feed two birds with one feeder and have hands in both jars. So, because everyone has spare time, but. I just wanted to remind everybody that commission has been around for a few months, probably like 6 months now. And it's not gaining the traction that I'm hoping. So I'm hoping that we can help support the High Street Park in a much larger, broader way by trying to get some folks excited about being part of that commission, so we can get some, oversight and some maintenance there, so we can focus on stuff.
That's very encouraging to hear, though, because our mission is, I don't want to say it's done, but we can see the end of the tunnel now, as far as actually getting the new uses of the property actually created. And it's been a concern of mine that I know that to get certain grants, you have to have a responsible town government entity.
Right.
And this could be that.
Yeah, well,
Good news.
it was written and adopted so that this is that.
Good
So,
news.
yeah, so we are making some good progress. That's all I have for updates. Other than that, if no one else has anything else, I think what we do is we get another meeting in the books, and then I will make sure that Lisa and/or Tony come, so we can figure out how to activate all of these different initiatives and things, so we can start really making some headway.
Can I just say,
Of course.
personally, when my term ends in June, I'm going to step off the board after 6 years and just have other things I'm doing, like Energy Committee and Green Hanson and retirement is. And there's someone I know who is interested, so I'll
Great.
just mention it to him. I think he had a little difficulty with meeting on Mondays, but there's someone that may apply.
That'd be fantastic. Well, let's try and get a whole bunch of stuff done before June then. We want to get your name on it. We want to get your name on the legacy.
The Marianne Massey Memorial Plaque.
That's what it is. I love
Not
that.
memorial.
No, I was gonna say not memorial.
Oh,
No
gosh.
memorial. That was dark.
I also,
Yeah.
if I may, I'm finding that with the current things on my plate, completing the tasks of this clerk position is getting harder to do.
Yeah.
I have a grandbaby arriving in September,
Congratulations.
and they are going to be living with us. And so we're doing a lot of work around the house for that. And I have a concert my husband and I are working on for June, where we're going to be, the main act, and dissertation and a wedding, and it's just crazy. And I'm finding that this is getting put to the side. And now that the town voted that I have to have all the meeting minutes in by the third meeting or within 30 days or
30
something like
days
that,
of third meeting, yeah.
that just gets kind of yeah.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to do a better job, but I'm finding that this is getting put to the wayside, and I don't think I'm going to be able to stay with it.
Yeah. And that's fair. So that gives, we have to do a reorganization in June, I believe anyways. So, that gives some folks some time to figure out, who's able and willing, to try that out. Cause there's a reason why we were all very grateful that you were willing to voluntarily take that, because it is not easy.
I intended to, be updating the website. I have all the login information. I haven't done it once. It's just, So, the other thing is, I met, a former colleague of mine at town meeting, Nick Getchell, who some of you might know, the Getchell family.
Yep.
He grew up here. He is, very interested in getting involved.
Good.
I got his information at town meeting.
Fantastic.
And then promptly lost it.
Ah.
So I have to get it again from him. But he is interested in maybe being either part of this committee or some other, maybe recreation committee or something.
Oh, there's an
That's
application
fantastic.
process.
He
And there's
is,
Recreation Commission too.
Yeah.
he's in the tech industry.
Oh, great.
So he's one of the people who was at the help desk when I was at Massasoit Community College, and great guy. So
Great. That's great.
and he has young kids.
Yeah,
Let the energy continue, but maybe different hands holding the baton.
Yeah.
Marianne, I think you've been on it for 7 years.
Oh, is
Look
it
just
since
like
we
this guy
started?
and this guy.
Okay.
Yeah. That's so we got some moving parts. Okay. I'm trying to be mindful of your time because you do have to leave at 7, you said, right? Okay. Is there anything else before we schedule the next meeting? But
It's scheduled.
I think it is scheduled, actually, now I'm saying it out loud, but,
That's important, we need to schedule the meetings.
I think we have, though. I think that's what as it was coming out of my mouth. I
There
think we
was,
did.
the last time we did the meeting, we made 2 Mondays that were holidays, something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
We couldn't get in the town hall because the town hall's closed for holidays.
As long as it's not Memorial Day, then the next.
That's
couple
next
months,
Monday.
Mondays
Yeah,
are
I have
okay.
June 3rd.
I have June 3rd and June 17th on the books, at least in our books. I don't know
From
that
the
it's
last
made it to
minutes,
the
that
Hanson.
was the,
June 3rd and 17th?
Yep, that's what we
This is the
agreed on.
last one we
three.
had.
That is 3, yep.
Today was.
Oh, it was the last one? Okay, so we'll do June 3rd, and what else do you say? I'm
The
sorry.
17th,
June 3rd and the 17th.
We'll keep Marianne busy before the end of June.
The planning board is the second and third, second and fourth, I think it is.
Look forward to meeting June 30th.
First and third were the, Mondays of the month were what we had agreed to try to maintain.
And I think that fits the bill.
Good plan.
And then we also have July 1st and July 15th.
Okay, what do you got?
So currently, we have June 3rd, June 17th, July 1st, July 15th,
July 1st? And
July
the
15th.
15th.
15th?
Yep. And do we want to go into August?
Let you wait. No, you could keep going if you wanted to.
I noticed that, where was it? Was it in the meeting, special meeting notes? Not the most recent one, but the big giant one. Where, did it describe the committee meetings and when they met? And I noticed the absence of hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
probably because they don't know
yeah.
what's consistent. So I thought that might be
Yeah, we can do
something we could
that.
try to
Yeah, we can do that.
change moving forward.
Yeah. I'll throw that on my to-do list.
I mean, just that
Sure.
if we meet regularly, then it can be put on those
Yeah,
kinds of
we can say
documents.
first and third Monday, you know, except for the holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Good plan.
So what we have, June 3rd, June 17th, July 1st, and July 15th.
July
Yeah.
15th.
Huh?
And are we not wanting to book out into August?
I'm just going writing down what you've got.
May we?
You know.
May we?
I would like to, I think we should.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that would be August 5th,
5.
August 5, and August 19th.
August 5. And what?
August 19th, so
And-
1/9.
The
6 p.m.
19th.
Yep, 6 p.m. across the board.
Good plan, Mr. Chair.
I like that. All right, thanks everybody for doing this and for the energy. I will, is there any last minute things?
Move we adjourn.
All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
In a second?
Seconded?
All right, all those in favor?
All right?
Aye. Opposed?
What was the August 2nd one?
Don't do that, because I want to do a roll call.
19th?
19th, yes, 1/9.
1-9.
9.
And with that, we're adjourned.